Is Colorado the new California? I really hope not. A state that was once one of the most beautiful in the country has now been plagued with anti-gun politicians and gun control coming from all ends. This last legislative session, we saw bills such as an assault weapons ban, which was killed. We saw bills with 3-day waiting periods. We saw another that allowed the government to ban legal adults from owning firearms. And in the midnight hour, the government passed a bill that bans so-called ghost guns. But let me tell you, this ghost gun ban is not like ones we've seen in other states. This ban goes far beyond what we've seen in states like Maryland, and Illinois, and even California. See, this bill changes the way that guns are defined. It says that any readily convertible receiver has to be serialized. So that means if you have an AR-15 and you take the married upper and the married lower and you separate those, you now have to have a serial number on that upper to make sure it is in compliance with state law. Now, if that doesn't piss you off, let me just tell you what else the most cringe governor in America, Governor Jared Polis, is doing. On top of this so-called ghost gun ban, he is banning 18 to 20-year-olds, legal adults, from owning basic hunting rifles. He has opened the door for gun manufacturers and gun stores to be sued for the actions of criminals. Even on top of that, he has expanded Colorado's already terrible red flag gun confiscation law. And to top it all off, they pushed an assault weapons ban that was luckily killed because of the work of Rocky Mountain gun owners and the National Association for Gun Rights. Well, earlier this week on January 1st, the law actually went into effect. And we've been planning for several months now, making sure that we had the resources, that our attorneys were prepared. And on the first of the year, I'm proud to say the day that the bill went into effect, Rocky Mountain gun owners and the National Association for Gun Rights sued based on the constitutionality of this bill. You see, if America didn't have the ability to produce our own guns, I would have a funky British accent right now. And that's just not the case. Now, you may know of ghost gun bans like being talked about by Joe Biden in states like Illinois, Maryland, and even California. Now, if you're not familiar with what a ghost gun ban is, it is essentially a ban on homemade firearms. And on a Glock, like you'd see here, normally you would see on a metal tab here, you would see the serial number. You would also see it on the barrel. However, Colorado is going a step further than doing that. They say that even every readily convertible receiver has to be serialized. So that means, in theory, if this was a real gun, I'd pop the slide off. As soon as I unmarry those from one another, I would have to serialize the slide to make sure that it married with the lower. Same with an AR. So on an AR, you would have it on the lower receiver. If you were to unmarry the upper from the lower, technically, underneath this law, you would have to serialize the upper receiver because it is a readily convertible receiver. Now, you might be wondering, well, this doesn't really affect me. I'm not building guns at home. I've got a couple of full guns. Well, let's say that you wanted to change the barrel. Well, if you want to replace any part, well, how do you know that it goes with this part? You already have serialized it. If you want to replace the trigger in this, how do you know that it goes with this gun? Because it's not serialized. They're opening the door for every single part to be serialized, and ultimately what we know that they want is they want Brady background checks on every single part and ammunition on guns just like this one across the country. So this case that we have just filed in federal court in the 10th Circuit in Denver District Court doesn't just have implications right here in Colorado. You see, this could have implications across the 10th Circuit, and we really believe that one of these so-called ghost gun cases is going to end up in the Supreme Court. Now, I'm going to pause just for a minute so I can let you see our latest giveaway of this badass Tacoma that the National Association for Gun Rights is giving away in the coming months. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I definitely want that Tacoma. Go to 2atechnical.com or in the description below to enter to win that truck right now. Now, getting back into it, I know what you might be thinking. This has nothing to do with me. I don't 3D print guns. I don't build guns from scratch. I always go to my local gun shop and they do it for me. Well, let's think about the instance that you want to upgrade your upper receiver. So if you do this underneath this bill, they would require you to have another background check on that upper receiver. And again, this is just pushing you further and further and further back into the Brady Universal Gun Registration Scheme passed in the late 1990s. So if you're anything like me and you've followed this for any length of time, you'll know that this isn't the first time that this has been brought up. The Brady campaign has literally been talking about serializing every component of a firearm and even ammunition for decades now. Here at the National Association for Gun Rights, we plan to not give them an inch because we know if we give them an inch, they will take a mile. They want us to be forced into universal gun registration, and we all know that registration is the first step to confiscation. So I urge you to donate to the legal fund to help us right here in Colorado, because I can guarantee you this will help you in every other state in the country as we fight these critical battles, not only in the halls of Congress, but in state legislatures and in courtrooms across the nation. If you're a proud supporter of the National Association for Gun Rights, check us out here because we want you to wear our merch proudly around the country. I don't know about you, but there's nothing better than going to the grocery store and triggering a Karen anti-gunner. It's one of my favorite things to do on an easy Tuesday night. So I encourage you to do the same. Check out our link here. So if you like the content that you're seeing, be sure to like, subscribe, and leave comments. That helps us more than you know. You'll be hearing from Hannah Hill for other legal updates. You'll be hearing from our president, Dudley Brown, for things that are happening on Capitol Hill. We'll also give you updates with our lobbyists and state liaisons across the nation. So please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment to make sure our video can be seen by as many pro-gun patriots just like you.